Hello, I'm Dr. N. Rowan Richards, and I have an alternative health clinic in Glendora, California. One of my life's passions has been finding alternatives to the dangerous chemicals that medical doctors so often prescribe, and it's been my life's study. If you're like me and other baby boomer women, you're probably very concerned about all the health risks associated with hormone replacement therapy. Everything from cancer to cardiovascular disease, even strokes. And if you've known me for the 21 years I've been in practice, you know I've been sounding this warning for at least the last 15 years. Finally, the message is getting through to the mainstream media, and now it's been featured on all the news programs. Because of my long-standing interest in this problem, I'm delighted to be able to tell you that there is good news. There are safe and effective, non-pharmaceutical solutions to the symptoms of menopause. Solutions that will allow you to feel like a real woman again, instead of a screaming crazy person.
Homie, why do you keep doing that? I can't take it anymore! You've got to stop!
Part of the problem that we as Western women face with menopause is that we live very high-stress lifestyles. Instead of slowing down through our 50s and 60s, most of us are still at the top of our game. What, you may ask, does that actually have to do with menopause? Good question. Well, the way human physiology works is that once your ovaries stop producing estrogens, you should still have 30% of the sex hormones that you've had throughout your life. And those hormones are produced by the adrenal glands and then converted into estrogens in the fatty tissues of your body. The problem is that the adrenals also produce our stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol. I'm sure you've heard of those. And when you're under high stress, that's all that gets produced, leaving nothing left over for your sex hormones. Now, that's a pretty brief thumbnail sketch of what is actually quite a complex physiological process. But in addition to those, we have other herbs that are specific for certain of the menopausal symptoms. Probably the best and easiest example of this would be tribulus. Were you aware that insomnia is the very first menopausal symptom for most women? That not being able to get to sleep, or sleeping a little bit, waking up and not being able to go back to sleep. Well, tribulus is not an estrogen. It's not a hormone of any kind. It combines with the estrogen receptors in your brain, tricking your body into thinking you actually have estrogen and letting you go to sleep naturally and normally. You actually can sleep like a baby using it. But as with many herbs, there are issues of quality, and this is a very important point. Whenever you are engaging in herbal therapy, you really have to be aware of your source, the quality of the manufacturer, the kind of standards that they use, and the pre and post testing. Because in the case of tribulus, there are actually 3 different kinds on the market. There's Indian, there's Chinese, and there's Bulgarian. The only one that has any physiologic effect is the Bulgarian. It's like 300 times stronger than the other 2 forms, because in India and China, they use the wrong part of the plant. And therefore, you don't get the saponins that give you this effect. So as you can see, herbal quality in a trusted source becomes a major issue when you are trying to address your symptoms and have good results. Obviously, this is a very complex subject. There's a great deal of information. And I'm actually going to be teaching a teleseminar on the natural alternatives to hormone replacement therapy in menopause. So if you would like to know more about it, you can certainly sign up for that seminar. But more importantly to me, I would like you to tell me what your major concerns are, both about menopause and hormone replacement therapy, so that I can make this session as valuable as possible to as many people as possible. So if you'll go to this website right here and sign up, and write in your question, then I'll make sure it gets included in our session. And if you're interested either in attending this the session or getting the recording after it's completed, if you'll give us your name and your email address, we'll get in touch with you and let you know the scheduling on it. There's a small fee for the recording or even for attending. It's the same fee, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you'll be getting a set of notes to go with the material so you can write it down, all the points of interest that you have. And I'm sure that you'll get a lot out of the seminar, so I'd like to invite you to attend. Here's what you need to do next. Go to our website and sign up for the teleseminar now. Send us your questions.